With nearly 5 million followers on Instagram and TikTok, my next guest went from dietitian to social media superstar with her easy-to-understand food recipes and relatable advice. Now, Kylie Sakaida has a new cookbook called So Easy, So Good, and she's here to share one of her favorite recipes and nutrition tips with us. Kylie, welcome to California Live.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So excited to chat. I always love talking food. So you are a social media star. It started during the pandemic, right?
Of
You were
course,
basically you were debunking misinformation for healthy nutrition. So how did all of this kind of come about?
Yeah, I mean, I have my bachelor's, master's in nutrition science. I became a dietitian. I worked in the hospitals in Boston, here in LA, and during the pandemic, I think there was a rise in a lot of nutrition misinformation online.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that a lot of the tips and the recipes being shown on social media wasn't very realistic. It's something that was always something that I would want to look like myself, where I think people want to emulate, but they were never always practical. So I wanted to do something that people could actually do themselves.
Yeah, and I think also we were cooking more, right? Because we had to be home.
Totally.
So it's like, now it's like, what do we make? I don't know what to make anymore that's good, that's not. Everyone just wanted to eat. Okay, so you have some viral dishes that are huge. So what are they?
So I would say that there are a few. A lot of them are either like breakfast, egg dishes, or the mason jar noodles, for example. I think that a lot of them have become really popular, like the Korean marinated eggs or the Chinese steamed eggs, or even the mason jar noodles, because they're a lot more convenient, I think, than typical recipes that you see online.
Okay.
I think that people get tired of typical meal prep, which is so understandable, because by day 4, you're kind of like, do I really want to eat chicken again?
I know.
Do I really want to eat something that's a little older? So I think that when something like the mason jar noodles became more popular online, it's because people realized that they could still have like really fresh soup.
Yeah.
Some fresh noodle soup on like Wednesday, and it's still going to be something that fills them up, something that they could easily prep ahead of time.
Okay, that's my thing. It's like, you know, if I make something on Monday, I don't want to have it again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Exactly.
I'm over it. I'm done with the chicken. I'm sick of it.
And it starts to taste a little weird. And
exactly. I know. And then chicken, when it tastes chickeny, it's like not good.
I know.
Like chickeny is
not
good.
way.
All right. So what do you have here? What are you going to show us how to make?
Yes. So we're going to assemble one of our mason jar noodles today. It's the gochujang sesame mason jar noodles in my cookbook, and I already assembled the base.
Is this something that you like just came up with one day, or like how did you?
I think that there have been the iterations of certain like instant noodles types of recipes online throughout the years. And when I would see a lot of this growing up, I really wanted it to make it, or I wanted to make it a little simpler, and I wanted to make it, I think, more flavorful too. So I think for this one, of course, you're going to have your sesame oil, you're going to have gochujang, soy sauce. I'm using better than bouillon chicken base, but you can really use whatever chicken base you want.
And we start with the like the broth, or like the base at the bottom.
That's at the bottom. I already put the cabbage in, and we're using shredded cabbage right there. You can just add some bok choy into the
mason jar.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a little handful. Super easy.
And I love that you can just, like you said, make these ahead and bring them. And soup is always good.
I love soup.
That's like the one thing that I can do leftover.
Same.
It's so easy.
We're in California, but it's still always great.
Oh, I always have soup, even on holidays. Okay,
you
then
can
you
add
have
some
your
edamame. You can add some shredded chicken, and I'm just using rotisserie chicken. Super convenient, super easy.
Okay.
And then you can top it off with these are mung bean.
Do I break these?
Noodles. You can just put it,
stick them in there. Okay.
Super easy. And then just top it with some green onions.
All right, perfect. And
super quick.
You're here in LA, but you're from Hawaii, so you have a lot of like Asian inspiration into your meals.
Yes.
How has that background kind of influenced the way you cook and your nutrition?
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you asked. So much of my cooking is always rooted in Asian inspired, I think, flavors, and I try to make that apparent not just in my social media, but also in my book too. Half the recipes are Asian-inspired recipes, and this includes, of course, mason jar noodles, I think the Chinese steamed eggs, the Korean marinated eggs. All of them have these Asian flavors, but I tried to make it so that these ingredients were still accessible, like in these major grocery stores.
Yeah, and easy, because when I think of Asian food, it's like kind of time-consuming, right? It seems complicated, but this was so easy. Like, I would totally make this. All right, so what are some other nutritional tips that you can give us that are in your book? Because you do a lot. It's like nutrition based in here.
Yes, I would say that the first thing that I like to recommend is to, at the beginning of the week, cook once and use that throughout the week. So try to cook and prepare really versatile, like diverse ingredients that are used as bases for your meals, and then to mix and match them. So for example, I like to cook brown rice at the beginning of the week, or white rice. I use both actually, and then I will freeze that in silicone molds, and then
Okay.
I'll just pop them in the microwave to heat up.
Wait,
And
you freeze your rice?
Yes, you can freeze your rice, and it's so easy.
Okay.
And it makes a really great base for a lot of these meals. So let's say you have leftover chicken, you can just pop like the leftover rice into the microwave, and it's fresh and ready
Fantastic.
to go.
So this is great. So then you just put the broth in here,
Yeah.
and then it's ready to go, and you can actually heat it up because it is a glass container. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kylie,
You just pour the hot water in. You seal
Amazing.
it for 10 minutes, and then all you have to do is dump this in here.
pour it into a bowl. Well,
Yeah.
Kylie, thank you so much. This looks
course.
fantastic. I'm definitely going to be doing this one and bringing it to work. And make sure to pick up So Easy, So Good, which is out now. Thanks for watching.